Canadians who are interested in visiting the U.S. goes up as well. So those are challenges that have to be taken into account, but need to be taken into account in the context of understanding that we still have great tourism products and experiences here in the province. With the right development, with the right marketing, we think that there's huge opportunities. All of this backdrop, that really, some of these challenges are a little bit different. Some of the opportunities may be a little different, but it's not new in its totality. So in just before the 2007 election, the province of Ontario, the government was approached by some folks from the tourism industry to say, we need a study, and actually the term competitiveness study was the one that was used at the time, to look into what ails the industry, what are the opportunities for the industry, what government and the industry can do together. Greg Sorbera, who's the former finance minister of the province of Ontario, was appointed to head that study. Myself and some of the people that I work with in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture supported him in that. His final report was released on February 11th of 2009 in Toronto. It had it was a product of consultations across the province, as well as individual meetings with leaders in the tourism industry, as well as especially commissioned research studies that looked into best practices around the world and how we might be able to emulate those in the province of Ontario. All of that led to his final report, which had 20 recommendations in 4 key areas. You'll be happy to hear, I'm not going to read all the recommendations to you, but the 4 key areas were changing how government and industry work together, which has been the focus of our work since the release of his report, and I'll be speaking about that particular set of recommendations in a moment. Setting standards for success, looking at how we can ensure that there's a level of quality right across the province in terms of the tourist offering that keeps people coming back and sending their friends and family back as well. Investing in the private and public tourism product. One of the things we know from some of the research is that some of our visitors have told us that that some of the product needs to be updated. It needs to be brought up to date. It needs to be refreshed in order to keep in sync with what tourists are looking for. So that kind of investment is important. And then lastly, the last point speaks to the marketing. You still have to sell what you have. People have to know what they have to offer if they're going to even make the choice to come. And we have a tourism marketing partnership organization, which is an agency of the provincial government, and it's undergoing a review right now to ensure that its priorities and the way it works are most effectively assisting the industry. So one of the specific observations that Sorbera made as he went around the province was that the structure of the industry now was one of the challenges in terms of fulfilling the full potential of the industry. Across Ontario, there's over 100 organizations that are involved in tourism in some way or another. I'll give you a few examples as I go through this. A lot of these organizations are small and financially fragile, especially in areas where there's not a great capacity, and this is often rural areas, to generate the revenue to keep these organizations going and being healthy. So I'll give an example. Our former Minister, Minnick Smith, has an organization in her riding which is responsible for marketing of that North Bay Nipissing area, and it is, as we speak, on financial life support. And obviously that organization can't be doing the kind of work it needs to do in order to bring tourists to the area, to develop the product, to develop the promotional activities, if it's worrying about whether or not it can meet payroll next week. And so very big challenge is to make sure that the industry is well-resourced and able to do the work that needs to happen. The resources for marketing or product development are often limited. I was told a story by a gentleman who runs a destination marketing organization in southwestern Ontario that he has an annual budget of $300,000. He has 3 staff, and he has to pay his office expenses. When he's done all of that, he's got about $20,000 a year left to actually market that part of the province, and that is not an uncommon story as we looked around the province and saw what happened. So that led to a recommendation that Sorbera made that we are following through on to address some of these issues with a regional approach to tourism. So the report recommends establishing tourism regions with one regional tourism organization in each area. The goal is to create within each part of the province a strong organization to support the industry and to strengthen its capacity to support economic growth. We found in many parts of the province that organizations weren't working together as effectively as we believed they should be, and we believe that there's real opportunities to, with that kind of collaboration and working together to move the industry forward. So the regional approach will, and as we're moving forward, and I'll describe where we're at with this right now in a few slides, we'll create a strong regional tourism organization, one in each region. We'll create a mechanism to provide for reliable funding. Will give, we believe, a greater capacity for collaboration on issues within the region, but also across regions. And one of the things that we found I've worked, as you heard in the introduction, I've worked in many different parts of government. One of the things that struck me when I came to the tourism industry was the tourism industry is not as effective in putting its voice forward to government as some other sectors are. And by providing a forum for those organizations, for these regional tourism organizations to come together, we think there's a benefit to the industry there. We also think there's an opportunity. We're undergoing a review of the Ontario Tourism Marketing Partnership Corporation, which is the government's agency which